back to my channel, Knitting by the Bay. My name is Christy. I live in Ontario, Canada, in a little town on the shore of Georgian Bay. I live here with my husband, our son, and our two Aussie Shepherds, Charlie and Bandit. This channel is a place for me to share my knitting projects with you, other crafts that I'm into, some baking, some books I'm reading, anything that brings me joy. I truly hope that you're able to find some inspiration here. I'm so excited for this episode number 2. I have 3 finished objects to share with you. All 3 of them are sweaters. One of them I knit for my son, and the other 2 I knit for myself. Also, I want to share with you some of my works in progress, which I have 2 of. They are both accessories. And then I will share with you some of my future knitting plans, some things that I'm looking to cast on soon. I'm just waiting for some of the yarn, which hopefully will be arriving today. So I might need to pause this video until I get some of that yarn to share with you, but we'll see how it goes. And then after that, if you're interested and you want to stick around, I have some other crafts that I'm working on right now. One of those is a super cute, vintage inspired Halloween cross stitch. And also I've got a sewing project on the go right now, which is a garment that I'm making for myself. And then I would also like to share with you one of the books that I just finished, which is a super warm and uplifting, cozy story, which I think is, well, it was really a great read, and I think it would be a nice read for October for the fall season. So yeah, if you're interested, please stick around. I have a lot to show you today. So first of all, I'm going to start with my finished objects. The first one here is the Cartography Sweater, which is by Tin Can Knits. And this one I knit, I'm going to put some pictures up of my son wearing it. I knit it for him. He's 10 years old, and I knit the men's size small for him, which ended up fitting him perfectly. The only thing is I didn't knit it as long or the sleeves as long as the pattern told me to for that size, but I just tried it on him and I stopped when it was at the right length. So it was such a fun knit. I knit it in Berroco Vintage and in 3 different shades of blue, which I'll list below. And it's knit top down in the round, very easy to understand pattern, a lot of fun, nothing difficult about it, I didn't think. And I did mention in my last video that there is an error in the pattern for the men's size small when you go to separate for the sleeves, but I emailed the designer and she got back to me super quickly, and I was able just to continue on with it, and then everything else was smooth sailing. So I definitely recommend this pattern. I think it was really easy and fun, and it knit up very quickly. The pattern calls for a DK weight yarn, and I ended up going with this, which is a worsted weight yarn. And so it is a quite thick sweater, and it'll be super warm for him. He said it's very cozy and he really liked it. And I think it'll be great for when we're going out, like if we're going out sledding or we're going out for a walk. We live in the snow belt in Ontario, so we get a lot of snow here in the wintertime. It's not I didn't find it extremely cold. We've only been here for a year and a half, and we actually moved here from further up north, about 3 hours north of here, in a little town near Sudbury. So that was very cold in the winter. We had, minus 30 degrees with the wind chill, so we were used to having a pretty cold temperatures, but as far as like snowfall is concerned, we're supposed to have a lot more here in the snow belt. So yeah, we're very close to the ski hills and stuff, even though I'm not very much of a skier, but we do go tobogganing and stuff, so I think it'll be a great sweater for him to wear in the winter, going out for times in the snow. So that was, oh yeah, and I do think that I might want to knit another one of these sweaters. I might want to make him one for a Christmas present, I'm thinking. He's a huge Pokemon fan, like loves Pokemon, plays the card game. He's in a Pokemon league. He's got all of the Pokemon cards, and he loves Pikachu. So I was thinking maybe to make this sweater and just substitute some like Pikachu's face in here, or some Pokeballs or something like that, very Pokemon related. And I think that'd be very easy just to adjust the pattern to have those images in it instead. And I think he'd really like that. If I don't do a full sweater, I might do a hat, because they have the Tin Can Knits has the cartography hat pattern available as well. So I could just make him a hat, and that would be a little bit quicker, and I think he would really like that. So I have to decide about that. I'm not totally sure yet. So, and then my next finished object is the one that I'm wearing, which is called the Friendship Pullover, and it's by Aimee Sher. And yeah, I'll just show you. I really love this pattern. I think it's such a simple, basic, like raglan sleeve pattern with a bit of cabling down the front. And it's very, I just love the fit of it. It's actually knit bottom up in the round. And for me, it really fits like perfectly the way that I wanted it to. And I didn't have to make any adjustments to it or anything. So I was super happy with how it turned out. I used Universal Deluxe DK in Oatmeal Heather, and I love this color as well. I think it's such a nice basic color. You can wear it with anything, and yeah, so I'm very happy with it. I'm just trying to think what else. There was, you could do the neck in, like, you knit it longer and then you would fold it over and attach it on the inside, so it'd be more like that sort of style neck. And I was planning to do it like that because I think that looks really nice. But then when I finished, like, I was knitting up this and then I tried it on, I really liked the way it looked, and to be honest, I was a bit lazy and didn't want to keep knitting and do the attaching on the inside, and I thought, you know, I could just maybe fold it down if I wanted to, or I really liked it like this, so I left it like that. And yeah, I'm super happy. I do feel like I would like to make another, but if I actually do, I don't know if that'll happen, because once I'm finished with one, I want to move on to something new and exciting again. So I might not, but I'm definitely going to hold on to this pattern, and maybe in the future I will knit another one. My third finished object is the Soldotna Crop by Caitlin Hunter. And I absolutely love this sweater. I love the way it turned out. I've already worn it a couple times. I used somebody's finished sweater on Ravelry to come up with the colorway for this sweater, and I think it matches pretty good with what they had. I used a different yarn. I used the Cascade 220 Superwash, and I'll list the colors that I used below. And I think it turned out pretty close to the other sweater. I'm gonna put up some pictures of myself wearing it, and yeah, you can see. So it's a very quick knit, very easy to understand, and it went by super fast. I had a lot of fun knitting that. There's a couple things that I want to say about this one. The neckline of my sweater, my dogs are barking probably soon. They see something outside. They're just going crazy. Anyway, I'm going to pause for a second, I think. Okay, I'm going to pause and I'll be back. Sorry about that. Somebody was walking by the window, or walking on the street outside our window, and yeah, Bandit likes to sit. We have a giant window seat in our kitchen, and like with a huge window, so the dogs like to sit there and watch people outside, and Bandit will growl and bark at them. She thinks she's scary. Definitely not. Anyway, back to my sweater, the Soldotna crop. So the neckline on the one that I made is very, very different than the neckline in on the picture of the sample that the designer, that Caitlin Hunter, shows for this pattern. Mine, when I knit it, was extremely tight on my neck and very small. And I had read before I made it from other people that had made this sweater, had said that some of them had said the same thing, that it did not turn out at all like the example of the sweater. And I don't know, some people, I saw pictures and it looked exactly like it, and then other people, it had this really tight collar. And then also my local yarn shop has a sample of the sweater in their window that the owner had knit up. And so when I was in there a couple weeks ago, I asked her about that, if hers turned out tight or if she had to make any adjustments. And she said no, like hers was nice and loose, just like the picture. And she didn't make any adjustments to it. It was just how the pattern was written. So I don't really know why some of us have a tighter collar and other people is loose. I don't know if it's a difference in the pattern for different sizes, and my size was different than the woman at the store, and that's why they turned out differently. But yeah, it was much tighter, which I'm okay with. I don't really like, generally I don't like a boat neck or a wide collar. So I do like it to be a bit tighter, but this one, it was just a little too tight on my neck. It felt a little uncomfortable. So anyway, when I blocked it, I just made sure to stretch out the collar more. And now I think it's perfect. I love it. So very happy with how it ended up after blocking, how it turned out. So that is it for finished objects today. Now I'm going to show you some of the works in progress that I'm working on right now. So this is the first one, which is called the Songbird Mittens by Heusser. And these mittens I am knitting in Sandnes Garn, Sisu, and I've listed the colors below. I think it's coal heather and maybe light beige heather, but I'll list those below. And I am loving this pattern. It is so beautiful. I feel like these mittens are like a work of art. So I've only gotten to like a little bit past where you separate for the thumb, and I'm going to show you. I'm trying them on right now, so I can show you what it looks like so far. So I think probably my tension could be a little bit better for the color work. It's hard when you're knitting like such a small area in the round, and I'm using the magic loop method. But anyway, oh, I just absolutely love it. So up here is going to be a bird that's, you can see its legs sitting on the branch there, and the beautiful cuff with all this detail I just think is so beautiful. And then if that weren't pretty enough, the palm has this beautiful pattern on it as well. And then the thumb has this detailing here too. And then I think it's gonna have a flower maybe on here or here. I'm not really sure. I think it's a flower. But anyway, there's so much detail to these mittens, and I absolutely love them. One thing I'm not loving is the needles that I'm using right now. So normally I use Chiagu, the metal needles, but I had to pick up a different size for these mittens, and my yarn shop didn't have any more of the metal ones, so I got the Chiagu wooden ones. And I just feel like these are so pointy and sharp and hurt my fingers like when I'm knitting, because I'm an English style knitter and I use my finger here to push the needle down so that the yarn comes off, and it hurts my finger. And also because they're so sharp, and I don't know if it's because of the yarn or what it is, it's splitting the yarn, like it's splitting the stitches, and it keeps getting caught on the stitches, and it's really been annoying because of that. But other than that, like, it's not annoying enough that I won't finish these, because I absolutely love this pattern so much. I think it's so beautiful, and I'm so excited to have these to wear in the winter this year. So that is my first whip. My second one is a hat. I gotta get this mitten off. Second one is a hat that I'm knitting for my husband, and he asked me for sort of like a toque, but like a slouchy toque, something more like a relaxed sort of fit. So we went down to our yarn shop and he picked out this yarn, which is like a really beautiful, I feel like it's kind of shimmery green. And this one is by Malabrigo yarn in Arroyo, and it's in the color 45 Chircas. And I absolutely love this, and it's sort of our favorite color. We have a favorite color for our family for some reason. I don't know why, but we've decided that we all like green in our family, so we call it the Clark green because that's our last name. And yeah, I love that yarn so much. And then this is the progress I've got done. So this pattern is called it's called Graham, and it's by Jennifer Adams, and it's a free pattern. And it's really nice so far, very easy knit. So you do like a big chunk of 1x1 ribbing, and then the rest of the hat is done with broken rib. So you knit one row, and then you do a row of 1x1 ribbing, knit one row, 1x1 ribbing, all the way to the end, and then you're gonna start to decrease and bring it in for the top. So hopefully, I don't know, it kind of looks small, but I think it's gonna stretch out, and if you do like a long bit here, it'll be slouchy on the back, so I think that'll be really good. We actually, when we picked this up from our yarn shop, I asked her, it was in a skein, so I asked her if she would wind it into a ball, the owner. So she did, and when she got to like almost the end of the skein, it was actually in two pieces. So I would say like this much was one piece, and then there's a little bit left that was not that wasn't joined. And so she offered me it at 50% off. So I got this, like, this yarn normally is an expensive yarn. It was, I think it was about $30 Canadian for the one skein, which is a lot in my opinion, but at 50% off, so $15, I was like, for sure, that's great. I was gonna buy it anyway, but that was awesome to get that discount on it. And I don't really care because like I'm not gonna even use all of this anyway for this hat, so it really doesn't matter to me that it's in two pieces. So that was exciting. And yeah, that's it for my works in progress so far. There was gonna be another hat. My aunt asked me to knit a hat for her granddaughter, so my cousin's daughter, for Christmas. So I said yes. I usually don't really like to knit for other people other than my husband or my son, but I thought this is just a hat and it'll be fun to knit. It'll be a quick knit. But anyway, she doesn't really need it until Christmas, so I've got a lot of time, which is good, but it's also bad because I keep changing my mind on which pattern I'm going to go with and which yarn I'm going to go with. So probably I will show that to you in the next video once I've finally made up my mind. And I think that, yeah, that's it for the works in progress for today. And I think I'm just gonna pause the video here because I'm waiting for the yarn to come, and it's supposed to be like on its way today. So hopefully it'll arrive before my son gets home from school, and then I can film the rest of this video and show you which yarns I've chosen for the new patterns that I'm going to be casting on soon. Okay, so I'll see you back soon. So unfortunately my yarn still hasn't shown up, and I just thought I want to get this video done before my son gets home from school. So I'm just going to go ahead without the yarn, but I'm going to put up pictures of the ones that I chose for each project so you can see what I plan on using for each one. So first of all, I wanted to start with the Kigi Pullover, and that is by Yamagara Knits. And it's a seamless top-down yoke sweater with lace. It has lace, baubles, and buttoned front. That just comes down a little way. I'm going to put pictures up of it. I just love the details of this sweater so much. I love all of it, the baubles, the lace, all of that, the button detail. I'm so excited about this one. And yeah, I'm thinking about using the Universal Uni Merino, and I've chosen a color called Pebble. So I'll put the yarn up there, the picture of it, which I think it's hard to tell on the computer what color it really is when you're ordering, but it looks to me like a very light gray color. So I'm excited for that. I think that'll look really nice in this sweater. I'm also considering maybe pairing it with with Knitting for Olive in the silk mohair. I was thinking of maybe either in Snowflake or Pearl Gray, but I was just wondering about that because I've never knit with mohair or worn mohair before. So, and I've heard it can be itchy. So I have a bit of a sensitivity to certain wools, especially around my neck. And I know this pullover doesn't really come up high on the neck, but I just wasn't sure. Like, I don't want to spend the money on getting more yarn because you have to buy double the amount of yarn if you're gonna hold the two together. So yeah, I wasn't sure if it's gonna be itchy. I won't end up wearing the sweater and it'll be a waste. So if anybody has any opinions on that Knitting for Olive silk mohair, if it's scratchy or if it's okay, I'm not extremely sensitive to it. Like, I'm not gonna get a rash or anything like that, but if it's really prickly, I'm not gonna wear it. So if anyone has any helpful tips about that, that would be great. Or if there's a different kind of mohair that is not itchy and would work, that would be great too, if you have any tips on that. The second future project is the Deep Winter Coat by Woolen Pine. I'm going to put a picture of that, and this is a beautiful cabled cardigan with a shawl collar and a belt, and I really just love this pattern so much. I love the cables on it. They're absolutely beautiful. I think it would be such a cozy knit for the winter. You use 2 strands of worsted weight yarn and you put them together so it becomes like a bulky weight yarn. So what I really liked also about this pattern is that the designer gives you 3 different options of yarn to use, 3 different suggestions of yarn, and all in various price points, which I really appreciate actually, because you know, a lot of the time I'm not able to knit with the suggested yarn from the designer because either, number one, I can't get it in Canada, I can't find it anywhere, or number 2, it's extremely expensive. A lot of the time they want to, you know, show off their pattern in the most beautiful yarn, and I totally get that, but sometimes when it's, you know, $30, $40 per skein, I can't justify that at this point in my knitting career because I don't feel like I am, you know, I don't always know that the pattern is going to turn out or the piece is going to turn out, and then I feel like it's a waste of yarn, a waste of money. So I do appreciate that she has suggested different price points in her yarns, and she shows you pictures of each one in the pattern listing of each different yarn and how much positive ease they use when the pattern tester used. So it's very helpful. I find that it really helps you to decide on your yarn. And so I will be using the Lion brand Wool Ease in Forest Heather. So I'll put up a picture of that color. It's a beautiful green. I love it so much. I'm so excited. It's very hard to find a green color that, you know, the perfect green, especially when you're looking online, because then it shows up and it's not quite the right color. And I think like sometimes some greens have more yellow in them, where other ones are more of a cooler bluish sort of undertone. And I prefer something that's on the cooler side. So I think that this one is going to be good. I'm hoping. I've looked at multiple pictures of it online from different stores. I've looked at projects on Ravelry that were knit using that yarn, and you can see it photographed in different lights, and I think it's going to be good. I'm crossing my fingers and really excited for when it arrives so I can see. But this one is it's bulky knit, so hopefully it'll knit up faster, but it is more of a coat, so it's going to be longer. It's got all the cable details, it's got a belt. I think it's going to be something that I'll be knitting on for a while, probably, because I'm going to need to concentrate on the cable pattern and everything. I think it's going to take me a little while, so I think this will be a good project to knit on during the fall and part of the winter. And I'm really excited. I imagine myself, wearing this sweater like on a Sunday afternoon when it's cold and there's a snowstorm and we've got a fire going and I'm knitting and drinking coffee, and I can just put on this, it's almost like a house coat sort of, but much nicer, and just put that on and get cozy and knit and drink my coffee. So that's what I'm excited for. And all right, so that's it for that one. And then my third one that I would like to make is, I haven't quite decided on the pattern yet. I've got a few options here, but I would like to make a shrug or a poncho, but like a shorter poncho, something that kind of comes to like right here. Something that I can wear again when I'm sitting and knitting and drinking coffee and just want something to warm me up a little bit around my shoulders. So the first one I chose was the Friend to Friend by Leslie Friend, and this is a bulky weight poncho, shrug, and it looks like very easy, simple stockinette stitch, knit in the round, nothing, no cabling, no lace, none of those sorts of things, and it's knit in a bulky weight yarn, which I think is great because it will knit up quickly. I just wanted something simple. It looks very clean and simple, and hopefully will be quick to knit. And I'm going to use, I did order some yarn for this one, which is the Lion brand Hue and Me, and it's 80% acrylic, 20% wool, and it comes in a really big variety of beautiful colors, I think. So for these ones I chose Juniper, which I think is the one that I'm going to use for it, and I'll put the picture up here. And I also chose Sea Glass, and now I'm kind of like, I don't really know why I chose that color. It's sort of a aqua blue, bluey green color, and it's pretty, but I just can't really imagine that as a poncho. So I'm not really sure why I ordered that one. And I ordered it quite a while ago, and it was back ordered, so I'm just getting it hopefully this week sometime. But anyway, I'll see what it looks like in person, and I might do a different sort of project with that one. I'm not really sure. Then the second shrug that I saw was the Jack Shrug by Debbie Bliss. And this one you knit in DK weight, and it's got cables on it and a really cozy rolled hem. I thought it was just beautiful, but of course this one will require more attention because of the cables. But I thought it was really beautiful. So that's on the list of possibilities. There's also the Milkweed Capelet by Carol Sunday. This one also has beautiful cables on it and a beautiful center cable that goes up the front with seed stitch borders. And this one as well is more complicated. So I'll see. I'm not really sure if I feel like that. I'll be knitting the other two sweaters that have cables and lace and everything. So I might just want something more simple to work on. So I'm not really sure. And then another one I was looking at, which is not a poncho, it's a slipover. It's called the Holiday Slipover by Petite Knit. And this one is more like a vest. It's a knit top down in stockinette stitching, and it's like a chunky slipover with very deep underarms on it. And I thought it would be nice, and you knit it in a bulky yarn. And I thought it would be a quick knit, but something just like really nice to just slip over and like sort of a casual thing to keep you warm. And yeah, I thought that was nice. I'm not really sure about that. I don't have any yarn picked out for that one, so we'll see. But yeah, post in the comments which one you think is like, which one, if you had to knit one of those items, which one you would want to knit, which one's your favorite, or if you have a suggestion for a different pattern, a different shrug or poncho that you like, list the name of it and then I can look it up. I would really appreciate that, and I can add it to my collection of patterns. And then the fourth item that I'm thinking of is the Marie Chen by Isabel Kramer. This is a really beautiful cardigan. More of a lightweight cardigan. I mean, it's knit in a DK yarn, but it's more of a lightweight cardigan than the deep winter coat that's the bulky weight. So yeah, I really like this. The front is worked in a double seed stitch with a very pretty cable and lace pattern that goes down the front. So yeah, I've had this one. I purchased this one quite a while ago, so it's in my patterns already, and I've been meaning to knit it but haven't decided yet on the yarn and when I wanted to knit it. So yeah, it's a possibility. I don't know. I might use I've ordered some Universal Deluxe DK Superwash in Charcoal Heather, so I'm thinking maybe that one, I don't know. But I also kind of would like to knit it in this Oatmeal Heather too, because I think I would get a lot of wear out of that. I'll go with a lot of things. So I don't know, that's a possibility as well. Okay, so that's all I have for today that is knitting related. So if you're just here for the knitting content, then thank you so much for joining me. And I hope to be back soon with some more finished objects and some more work in progresses. But yeah, if you would like to stick around to see what other crafts I'm working on right now, that would be great. I think I'm going to go and make myself a coffee now, and I will be right back. Hi, thanks so much for sticking around. I've made myself some coffee and I changed into my Soldotna crop just so I could show you guys what it looks like. So yeah, that is it. Love it. And I'm happy that you stick around because I want to share with you some other craft projects that I'm interested in right now. The first one is a Halloween vintage inspired cross stitch. This one is by the Witchy Stitcher, and it's called Halloween Time. So it's kind of spooky, vintagey cat. You've probably seen, like, it's very, inspired by those old Halloween postcards and posters and stuff. And he looks a little creepy right now. My son was like, Mom, like, why are you cross-stitching such a creepy looking cat? But anyway, when it's all done, it's all going to come together and it's all going to look really cute. And I'm going to put up a picture of what the finished cross-stitch is going to look like. And yeah, I'm really enjoying this right now. The pattern uses regular DMC thread, and it also uses, it's called Etoile floss, which is sort of like a sparkly thread to accentuate some areas of the cross stitch. Unfortunately, I don't have any of the Etoile thread, and my local yarn shop, she just carries the regular basic DMC thread, so I couldn't get any. So I just decided I'll just do it with my regular threads that I have already, and I think it's looking really great so far. I hope, like, when I finish it, I hope to put it in a frame and I'll put it up somewhere in my kitchen, and I think it'll look really cute for Halloween. And if I can get this one done in good enough time, then I will probably make another one, which is the same sort of thing but with a pumpkin instead. And I think they'll look really cute, like with two coordinating patterns like up in my kitchen. Would look really cute, and I'll put a picture of what that one looks like. And yeah, I'm having a lot of fun. I'm really enjoying stitching somebody else's pattern for a change, because I also design cross-stitch patterns, and I've been doing it for probably about, I think, 5-6 years now. And I have a shop on Etsy where I sell my PDF patterns and kits and stuff like that. But sometimes, like, I don't know if you are somebody who has done this, but sometimes when you monetize your crafts, it sort of takes away some of the joy out of actually making it. And some of the, I like to do cross stitch and knitting and stuff as a way to relax, and it helps with anxiety a lot, to have a project to do that I don't really have to think about. I just follow along, and cross stitch is very good for that sort of thing, because it's basically cross stitches or back stitching, and that's about it. You can have the most basic pattern to a really complicated pattern, but it's up to you. So if you want to just, relax, watch a movie, and just not think too much about it, cross stitch is such an awesome craft to do. So for me, I've always just designed my own patterns and stitch my own patterns, and that's fun, and I do get a lot of joy out of designing things. But it's also fun, like, I know about myself, I really enjoy getting a pattern, getting all the supplies for the pattern, and just not thinking about it and just doing it the way that somebody else has designed for you. And I'm sure there are a lot of knitwear designers that feel the same way, that you've taken a hobby and you've turned it into a business, and now all you can do is design and knit your own things, and you don't have any time left to do any other projects or any other designers' knitwear. I know some of them do, but I'm sure it's sort of in your mind, you're thinking, I'm wasting time on this, I should be doing work. And I don't think crafts should be that much pressure. I think it should be something to relax and have fun with. So yeah, I chose this one, and I'm really excited to be working on this one now. And so the second non-knitting project that I have right now is a sewing project. I'm working on a dress pattern by Simplicity. It's number 1800, and I really like this pattern. It's very form-fitting, and I don't know, it's not frilly or sorry, I have allergies right now. It's ragweed season, and I'm stuffed up from it. But anyway, it's very nice, and I don't know what the right word would be for it, but I just really like the design of it. It's got a princess, what do you call it? Princess waist, and I'm going to do the one with 3/4 length sleeves, and then it has a pleated skirt, and the skirt also has pockets in it, which is awesome. So yeah, I have started on that. I went to the fabric store. This is just like a piece of leftover fabric, and picked out this one. And it's very drab, I know. It's not very exciting fabric, and I chose it though because I think it's something that I will actually wear. Like a lot of the time I will look at fabrics and I choose these ones that I really love the pattern. They're colorful, it's like really exciting looking, and I love the pattern, but then when I make something with it, I don't want to wear it because I'm not really that flashy of a person with my clothes. So I thought with this one with that dress pattern would look really great, and then can wear like a nice cardigan over top of it with some boots, and I think that would look really pretty, really nice. And so I'm excited for that. I've got the pattern pieces and the fabric pieces all cut out, and I'm just waiting now for the lining to come because I didn't notice that on the pattern envelope that you need lining for it too. So that should be arriving soon, and then I'm going to get that cut out and start sewing on it. So it's really exciting. The pattern, I think I've kind of read ahead in the pattern a bit, and it's a little more confusing, or not confusing, but complicated than some other patterns I've done before. I'm not a really advanced sewer by any means. I'm more of maybe an advanced beginner, if there's such a thing. So for me, the pattern has more steps to it because it's been designed with many like different options so that you can make it like fit your body type, which is great. I think that's awesome. So, but for me, I just like kind of don't really know where I'm going with that, and I just kind of want to follow along with the basic pattern. So yeah, there's a lot of different pieces to it based on your size and your bust size and your waist, all these different sizes that you have to look into. So there's a lot of, I'm going to have a sip of coffee. There's a lot of different pieces to sort through to find the ones that relate to your dress. But I really like, I've seen this pattern for a while now. I think it's been out for a pretty long time, and I've seen many examples on Pinterest of different dresses and different fabrics, and I really like it. So finally I'm going to make myself one, so I'm excited about that. And yeah, I think that's it for the other projects that I've got on the go. And then I guess the last thing I wanted to talk about was a book that I just finished reading, and that is called The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches, and it's by Sangu Mandana. And I really enjoyed this book. It is a cozy read. It's about magic and belonging, and it's like part romance, part fantasy, but in a very like heartwarming sort of way. There's some funny parts. I found the main character kind of funny. I laughed out loud sometimes while I was reading it, and I just think it was a very heartwarming, cozy, perfect book for October, for the fall season to cozy up with. And yeah, I love that one. And that one was one of my finished books. The one that I'm reading right now is this one, which is The Testaments by Margaret Atwood. Of course, this one's been out for a while, so I'm sure a lot of people have read this one already. And I've always been a fan of Margaret Atwood's, and in high school I read like all of her books up until when I think it was The Blind Assassin was the last book that I read of hers, and I didn't really enjoy that one. And then I just sort of stopped reading any more that she's written after that. So I don't know, maybe I'm really, really enjoying this one, so maybe I might look into some of her other ones. More newer ones. But yeah, I've been a fan of The Handmaid's Tale, the TV show, and just love that show. It's very, very difficult to watch at times, but yeah, I think it's very well done, and So I don't know why I've been waiting so long to pick up this book, but now I'm about that far through and I'm absolutely loving it. And this book I found at a used bookstore in our neighborhood, and I think I got it for like $5 for the hardcover book, so that was awesome. And I don't know if you've seen the end pages of this book, but oh, so beautiful. Little cross-stitch skulls and flowers and stuff. Actually, I think it's petite point, because that's what they talk about in the book. But beautiful, yeah. Just absolutely love that one. Right now, I like to listen to an audiobook, usually when I'm like cleaning. Sometimes when I'm knitting, I'll listen to an audiobook. It depends if I have to like count stitches or something. But if it's something basic, I'll just, I can listen to the audiobook, or while I'm cleaning or folding laundry or whatever, cooking, baking, I'll listen to my audiobook. And then I also have like a hardcover book or an ebook on my e-reader that I'll read when I have time to sit down and read something or before bed. So I really like that sort of system, because I've been able to read quite a lot more books this year than I normally would. I think last year, and it doesn't matter how quickly or how many books you read, as long as you're reading and enjoying it. If you like to read, then that's all that matters. But last year, I think I probably read a total of 12 books the entire year, which is not terrible or anything. It's like a book a month. But this year I've already read, I think I'm up to 28 books. So yeah, the audio books, when I'm able to get them from the library, are really great. I get to read a lot more books than I would otherwise. So yeah, that's awesome. And I guess, yeah, that's it that I have to share with you today. So if you stayed till the end, thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you found some inspiration for some new projects or new crafts that you want to try out. Anything that gets you making stuff and being creative, I think is awesome. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I'll be back soon with some new finished projects and some new works in progress. So thanks a lot. Bye.